Today's guest mixes Brazilian rhythm and pop polish to create some incredibly memorable songs that turn her pain into power. She's here to celebrate the release of her new EP. Please welcome Laura Pieri to Televised magazine. How's it going?
Hi, I'm so excited to be here. It's going pretty great.
How's your day been so far? I know there's a slight delay getting in here, but how's it been
Yeah,
besides that?
it's been good. I'm in Brazil right now, and
Okay.
it's been a long time that I've like worked in studios here.
Yeah.
But I've been really enjoying getting in the studio here with Brazilian musicians and just speaking Portuguese and getting
Hmm.
reconnected with my own language and my own music. So
Yeah.
it's been good. It feels good to be like back fully immersed into music
Hmm.
over here.
So Frankie on the dance floor is when people are seeing this, it's out now, but you just said you're in the studio, perhaps a hint to future projects. We'll touch on that more later. But Frankie on the dance floor, like I said, out now. High energy counterpart to your 2024 release, Frankie. What
Yeah.
story does this tell in contrast to the original release?
Yeah, I mean, this is honestly my favorite project to date to put out. I think Frankie was such a character, and I really built out her world very intensely and very
Hmm.
intentionally. And that was a very curated story I was telling. It had like a beginning, a middle, and an end, melodically, sonically, and it was very like mental. I feel like the experience of Frankie was very much like what you're getting and what are you understanding and like breaking all those elements down. And then after I sat with the project and its released a while ago, just with me and movement is so important to me. I felt like that piece of it was missing.
Hmm.
And I really wanted to bring like Frankie out of like the thinking too much and allow it just to feel. So when I decided to do these remixes, I wanted to breathe life back into this Frankie project, but in a way that it was kind of like a reintroduction in a way, a
Yeah.
rebirth as an ending to a story. So every track is kind of the opposite of what's expected of it and the
Hmm.
opposite of what the song itself says. And it's way more about like letting loose and letting things flow through you instead of like trying to intellectualize and understand everything.
Yeah, so you had said like you thought it was missing something, missing that dance. Was there a specific moment or where did that idea come from to reimagine it and make it give it a second life, I guess is the way I would put it.
Yeah. Well, I think honestly, when I released the project in its first iteration, after having it be out in the world and taking a step away from it and coming back to it a little bit,
Hmm.
um, because all art we do to kind of like metabolize our own feelings in a way. I think after I had like made my peace with my own story and my own inspiration of that, and after kind of like it had lived outside of me for a minute, when
Hmm.
I consumed it again with fresh ears and fresh mind, a fresh intake, it really was so clear to me that, oh my God, like the best way to end this is with a rebirth.
Yeah, because it kind of lets you view it in a way, the closest way you could view it as an outsider, you know what I mean? When you come back to it after a couple months away. And I want to ask about this because you don't see this often in music. You created a short film for the EP last year. Tell us a little bit more about that and go in depth on it because I'm not the most familiar with it.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you. I don't know if you can tell, but I even sat up straight. This is my favorite thing to talk about. I the thing about that I think for me for creation, I some people from are musicians that walk in and they see everything in music and they create the music. For me, everything is kind of this all-encompassing universe.
Hmm.
So when I started on the Frankie project, before it there was even a vocal recorded, I knew that it was one story. And I've always kind of dabbled with storytelling in different mediums. So as I knew that as kind of like an accompaniment to this to the EP, I wanted to put out a sort of visual component that navigated the stories.
Hmm.
And when I just was it was almost like an exorcism, and I was just putting this out of myself. It came in very visual references.
Yeah.
So I started writing down what I thought the story was. And then when I walked into the sessions at Skylar Coco, I knew it was going to be a short film of some sort. I didn't know if it was going to be like a collection of music videos or if it was going to be like one really long music video, but it was very clear to me when I started to make the music that this piece was going to be consumed like track one, two, three, four. This
Hmm.
is how we're going to weave through this through and like no shuffling. I have kind of like a rule with my playlist that it's like no shuffling allowed. You're supposed to consume this in the order it comes out.
Good.
So
I've had people call me crazy because like 90% of how I listen to music is just a full album start to finish.
I don't like I mean, I think it has its time and place. Shuffling
Right.
has its
Yeah.
place.
If I'm at the gym, great.
Correct. That's what I
Mhm.
agree. So when I started to make this, I knew it was kind of that project. And then the story was just, it was so visual. And I made this like 60-page PDF and then
Mhm.
introduced it to a friend of mine who had just started her own like visual production company. And I was like, hey, I have this project. I'm about to go into school, so I can't barely do this on my own. I have all these ideas. Can you help me bring it to life? And she was game. She like read through all of that. She helped me put it all together. And when it was kind of started really taking shape, she said, instead of doing these music videos, I think you should strongly consider doing a short movie.
Mhm.
Um, because that is kind of the story I wanted to tell anyway. And I thought it was the best way to really weave in all of the visual and the inspirational references. Like Frankie gets its name from Frankenstein.
Mhm.
And it's kind of a story about like identity and about feeling like you the parental figure that like the thing that's taking care of you that created you you don't really resonate with like you are
Yeah.
different than the thing that's created you and like how do you rebel against that without burning yourself away in the process.
Mhm.
So it's a story that had ties to that. I have made a lot of different references and the short movie really allowed us to weave all these elements in and to also have pieces of songs that are done a little bit differently. Like the Come Clean is an interlude in the short movie. And I thought it was such a beautiful version of that song
Yeah.
because it's a song about like accepting both light and dark parts of yourself. But in the short movie, it's just kind of like this piano with a little bit of like more sound towards the end. And I think it's just, it gives you different
Mhm.
ways for you to consume and understand the same piece of media.
With with how much thought went into it and the I feel like the explanation I just got isn't even cracking the surface of everything that went into this project. How long did it take from it going from an idea in your head to the final product?
About 3 years.
3 years. Wow.
Yeah.
And now the whole world gets to experience all of it. That's crazy.
Yeah. I think it's insane because like Frankie on the dance floor is my goodbye to Frankie in a lot of
Hmm.
ways. So I she exists because I needed her to. Like she is like a character that I needed to kind of I needed her in that moment. It's a lot easier to talk about yourself when you're not talking about yourself.
Hmm.
And the fact that like I'm wrapping this project up now with Frank on the dance floor, it doesn't even like I've been with her for so long that in my mind I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe like you're really going away now.
It's
Like,
like
oh my,
leaving a piece of you behind as you move on
absolutely.
to what's next.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Um,
And but it also feels like I am ready to say goodbye to this project.
yeah.
And on the dance floor kind of showed that to me. And I was like,
Hmm.
actually, once we had the EP done, the remix is done, and I listened throughout, I was kind of like, you know what? Yes, this is ready to live in its final iteration.
Yeah, ready to just be done and exist as is because it sounds like it meant a lot to you, the Frankie chapter did.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's best to kind of have that if you love something, let it go mentality, because you're going towards whatever's next. Frankie will exist for
Yeah.
eternity, with the EPs and the short film. Do you think that being kind of multi-talented or multi-disciplined, I guess, in things like the short film, does that allow you to tell more stories and create more of a universe around your songs?
Oh my God. First of all, that's a wonderful question. I think it's twofold. Because yes, it does allow me to tell more stories, but I also
Hmm.
think it allows me to rely more on all of my collaborators
Hmm.
because I really rely on the people I work with to bring all of this to life because I am not a master at a singular task. I cannot execute something without the help of my collaborators. Like
Yeah.
the people I need the people who I make music with to make music. I need the people that I make my visuals with to make the visuals. I need the people who edit my work to edit my writing. It's like I need all of my
Hmm.
collaborators and I've really learned to trust them and to trust the talented people that you work with.
Yeah.
Um,
Because
it does
they all play a very important role
exactly.
and they're all very different.
Yeah. It does. There's a moment of like, the actual saying of like jack of all trades but master of none.
Hmm.
Does feel like that sometimes because I work with incredibly talented and incredibly disciplined and amazing people who are really good at what they do.
Hmm.
And so sometimes it's hard, like I've worked with my producer for years now and who cuts all of my vocals. And then sometimes I'm trying to describe something and I just know how it's supposed to feel.
But
And
you
then
can't
it's
say it.
but I don't know the musical
Hmm.
terminology, or I know how I want a shot to be framed and I know what the feeling I want it to evoke, but I don't know the specs. So I
Yeah.
really rely on the expertise of everybody who I work with
Hmm.
because none of this would ever exist without them. Like the Frankie project went through so many hands to get done, and they were all so crucial to the process
Hmm.
that you really learn to how to work collaboratively and how to trust your collaborators because sometimes you disagree, especially when there's more people in the room, and when to be like, this is my time to push, or when to be like, this is my time to pull back and
Hmm.
let somebody do their thing.
It kind of reminds me of, I don't know if you're familiar with David Lynch at all, the director. But he kind of had that jack of all trades mentality too. Director, producer, actor, musician. He really did everything, and it sounds like you're forming your own path through that. But David Lynch wouldn't have accomplished that, or Quentin Tarantino's another example, wouldn't have accomplished that without other talented people around them who can fill in those gaps. So this wasn't just a one woman show, so to speak. It sounds
Yeah.
like you had a lot of fun with the producer on these remixes.
Yes. No, this was a good time. We've
Hmm.
been Yash, who make these remixes. We've been working together for 6 years almost
Okay.
now, and it gets to the point where we are very like almost telepathic, which I
Hmm.
appreciate. Like I joke that with the tightest of my collaborators, and at this moment it is Yash and Gabby who does my visuals. They speak louder because I am an endless pit of ideas and of like things. And at some point, both of them are always like, okay, can we nail this down? This is what it's gonna be. Can we agree?
Yeah.
Um, but it was a lot of fun to make these remixes. I knew the only really thing I knew very clear was that I wanted to subvert expectations with every track.
Hmm.
Uh, like Daughter of Demeter, which is the angriest track. It's the most like musically like in your face track. I wanted to make it like loungy sunset groovy vibes. So I pulled so many references, and yet when we
Hmm.
started working on it, it went an entirely different direction. And that's what when we talk about like trusting your collaborators, when it went in a different direction, I kind of had to just let it go and let it
Yeah.
be its own thing.
Let it sort of, yeah, be its own thing, as you said. I tried to add something onto that, but I didn't really have much to say.
Yeah.
To follow up in a different way, does your background of being born in Brazil, moving to New York, you're in Brazil right now, how does that impact the type of music you make?
Oh, it's not something that I do consciously because
Mhm.
I've been in the US for 12 years at this point.
Okay.
So it's not like I'm consciously thinking like, well, I'm going to use this Brazilian music or well, I'm
Hmm.
going to do this thing. It's more of I the blood that's in you is the blood that's in you, and the
Yeah.
roots that you are from are the roots that bring you back.
Hmm.
Like when I get extremely sad, it's Brazilian food at comfort that brings me comfort.
Okay.
I've been in the US for 12 years, and even now there's still English phrases I don't seem to get right.
Hmm.
Like I just learned recently that it's not an egg, cheese, and sausage. It's a sausage, egg, and cheese,
Yeah. If
and that
you,
the order of those matter.
hmm
See, it's like the tiny little things. It kind of it affects me not so much intentionally where I'm like, well, I'm gonna set out and I'm gonna use Brazilian drums or I'm gonna use a Brazilian beat. But I was born in Brazil. My entire family is Brazilian.
hmm
Most of my family doesn't speak English. Um, it's just in who I am.
it just
And
flows through you.
and I think
Yeah.
that the longer I've spent away from Brazil, the more I've craved it now.
Hmm.
Like I'm
Homesick.
starting homesick for sure, but also I think I don't feel quite as grounded as when I'm here.
Hmm.
So I think that just being away from really where I'm from, I've felt the call to me way more in the last 2 years than I
Yeah.
ever have. So I'm like making more time to be here and to work
Hmm.
here when I can. And I've felt a difference in feeling more like aligned with myself.
Yeah, and you are there right now. You are working with collaborators, as you said. I won't push you to give any details you're not ready to give out, but it sounds like you're working on something, right?
Yes. It'll be here sooner than you think.
Okay, so it won't be a 3 year long project like Frankie.
That's what I'm, yes, it will not be, I might get in trouble, but before the
Should
end of
should we
the
leave it at this?
before the end of the year.
Before the end of the year. Okay, we'll leave it at this. We'll leave it up to you and your team to get into the details of when it's time. But for everybody watching, that's just a little hint, a little sneak peek. What was the first moment in your life where you said, "I want to make music as a career. Or I think I can do this"? Or what was the first time when music called to you as something more than just something to listen to?
The way, I don't know. I just have always remembered as long as I've had a memory, this is what I've wanted to do.
Hmm.
Um, my mom, I don't remember this, but my mom tells me that the first concert that she ever took me to was Cher, and that I was a
Okay.
young child. And that she said that, I don't know if you can tell by everything about me, I'm a yapper. I talk a
Yeah.
lot.
No, so am I. I've enjoyed it.
And she said that she's never seen me quiet for so long, and that she said that I was just a statue staring at Cher the
Hmm.
entire night, and I didn't say a word at the end of the night, and that in the morning I just said I want to do that.
Yeah.
And I remember that, but that tracks with what I know from myself,
Hmm.
and that makes sense with all the things I love to do, like the change, like how did she change hair so fast, or these are entire worlds on stage that she's making. I want to step into all of them,
And
and
you're
just
doing it now.
and it's all these things that it took 20 some years, but this is the kind of the worlds that I believe
Yeah.
created today.
And now you're here, and now everybody can hear Frankie on the dance floor out right
Everybody.
now. They can stay tuned for whatever's cooking up next. Thank you so much for joining me. Before we go, where can fans find you on social media?
I am everywhere on at thelauраpieri.com. That's because there's only one. LAURAPIERI. And on anything that makes sound.
Anything that makes sound.
Anything that makes sound, you can find me there.
And then the last question I end every interview with, just kind of dig into someone's music tastes and their brain a little bit. What are your three favorite songs at the moment? Whether I asked you, your
Ooh.
best friend asked you, or a stranger walking down the street, what you gonna say?
Oh, at the moment, that's a good thing to add because if you said ever, I would have been like, I cannot
Yeah,
answer
no,
that.
specifically at the moment. Like what's been on repeat for the last month or two? Summer songs, I guess, since summer's coming to an end.
Ah. Ooh. 1+1 Nika,
Okay.
um, Prince Cream, and Zara Larson Midnight Sun.
Okay.
I
I
think
only know two of those. What was the first one you said? That's the one I'm not familiar with.
1+1. I might be saying her name wrong. I've just recently found this
Okay.
artist. Her name is Naika or Nika, Nai with the two dots, Ka.
Okay. I was gonna
And
say that's the only one I haven't heard of. So I also like asking this question to kind of expand my
yeah,
musical horizons a little
her
bit.
discography is incredible. She has a song called Milkman that was my previous obsession with.
Hmm.
She's wonderful, and I've just recently been really obsessed with her newest stuff. Her newest song is called Bloom, that is also amazing.
Yeah.
And but 1+1 is just constantly on my playlist, and I've been
Okay.
really obsessed with that one.
Sweet. Hey, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for the good recommendations song-wise. And everybody can stream Frankie on the dance floor now. Everybody can follow you on social media. I had so much fun talking to you.
Oh, thank you, thank you. This was a lot of fun too. I mean, obviously, I get to talk about all my favorite things, so I'm very
Yeah, get
excited,
get
and I love.
to get to yap for I don't know how long,
Yeah,
25 minutes. But thank you everybody for watching and we'll see you later. Have a good one.
thank you so much.